All that. My nose is huge, my god. Ah, I shouldn't have clicked on this link, man. God! There's no hot dog stands in Hawaii! Ugh! Career ending! John's the moron. John's the idiot. John's the granny killer. Yeah, you know me. I'm just walking around stabbing grannies in the throat with corona particles. I'm not being sarcastic. Go away! It's my show. You should all be hung. Oh my god! Oh, it's sick! Ugh. No! Oh my god! What is all this? No! You're seeing it right here! Ugh! They're all connected, all of them! My god! Oh god, they're selling kids! Ugh. Care to make a comment? Oh god. Oh my god. Ugh. No! Then on pasta. That is not a normal thing. That's not normal. Me bleh, sick. Just, you know, just grabbed the girl's butt at a bar very inappropriately, and it made her feel awkward. So back to the oh so racist Hawaiian punch. I'm gonna convince you the sky is pink. $15,000 for this little garbage-looking storage cabinet, which is funny because you can't get a hold of them here, folks. We just have a natural hatred for old people because they just do things differently. Whatever that site is. Sorry, I burned my finger earlier and I just hit it on the table and... Oh, you know what? It's a Corona blister. These people don't even live in Jersey. I love pizza. You don't see me eat. All my coworkers saying, can't wait for the pizza extravaganza unless it's something dark and sinister involved within the coded embedding. Also, I'm really hungry and I could go for some wings right now. So no, I'm not gonna sign up to your pedophile. Ugh. Let's just buy babies and kids online. You guys are safe. This is safe. You are told this is okay. We can now be within 6 feet of each other. Oh, but now I'm infecting you through the camera. Look, I probably shouldn't have said her name because now they're gonna kill her after they kill me. I ate it the other day, and I'm telling you, now I'm starting to look at Native American people a little spooky. That cactus must have came out of Queen Elizabeth's butt. Man, these people are like pizza connoisseurs, man. I'll tell you what, if John Podesta invites me to his house for a pizza, and I'm not talking about a child, talking about a thing with cheese and bread and dough and sauce and maybe some pepperoni, and not meat, human meat, it better be the way that these people talk about pizza, that better be the best freaking pizza I've ever had in my life, man. I really need to get a fan down here. Gotcha! Don't mess with the CDC. Ever. We can trust them. We love them. Dude, it's so funny. American news companies needs to start growing some balls.
An N95 face mask.
You know what? I want to apologize to the Me Too movement for this man clearly harassing us by just leaving a button or two open on his chest. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to spread this toxic white man privilege masculinity upon you today. Facebook will probably have me banned within the hour. And John's the crazy man. There he is, the great Lord and Savior of coronavirus. Everyone bow your heads with me, for he has blessed our screens with his oh-so-holy presence. Find a dealer? No, I'm not trying to buy bombs, man. If I'm on hold for more than 5 minutes, it's racist. Yeah, we are gonna get Carol Baskin on the show to try and protest against Frosted Flakes that it's oppressive to big cats. How dare they put a polar bear on the wrapper? Dun, 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 dun. New logo. Bro, a right-wing activist group. I didn't even stop. I'm getting pissed now. Illegal sale of aborted baby parts. Notice how I'm saying that. Next thing you know, website, right-wing, post of piss off, right? Extremist, right-wingist, alt-right. I love it. It's not a right-wing. Dang it! They just post the videos, man. They just ask the questions. If it outraged the world, it's still happening. They're selling it in pills. They're killing off kids and prisoners, putting it in pills, selling the blood, adrenochrome harvesting, pennies on the dollar. Direct in your face, we're selling kids, and it's... Y'all just watched the videos. What was distorted of them admitting to selling dead babies? Australia's doing great. They have eradicated the virus. They discovered a new element. The aliens landed there, and for all we know, by now they're flying. How were you misled? No, it's gross that this guy has yet to make a comment about people accusing him of something guilty. I don't care if it was Kellogg's cereal. They're selling dead babies for profit. No, they just got money. They're little evil, demonic little hands and everything. But this should make you mad. These people are they're pedophiles, man. I'm dreaming about your hot dog stand in Hawaii. Pretty freaking huge, man. Duh. Because you saw it. We'll try and call the PR thing at CNN, and it's like, oh, we're busy. Oh, no comment. Oh. Because they know that no one will care. They know. And it's like the Me Too movement. I want to shake the camera. I hope someone's watching this, and it's 4 hours of my life I'll never get back. Thank you, PP91303. I'm probably gonna go to jail for what I would do to that guy. Not a threat. Anyways, of course. PP did not PP. 2025, I'm still laughing at that. They can find Osama bin Laden. Oh, and nothing, we don't care. You wanna know why? You don't forget the word furniture twice. Because men are kind of retarded sometimes in that way. Yo! Bro! That Rachel Maddow. I guess we just let rapists become, well, what'd she say? I guess we just let rapists become Supreme Court justices now. Sniveling little pig demon. Oh my God. Florida's gonna die. We're not trafficking kids. Move along, COVID. Yeah, little home decor. Look at all the cute colors. Oh.
The terrorists are going to release a real one now.
The colors in your logo piss me off. Even though it's meant to represent anger. My logo. I didn't cough. Oh. You're all a bunch of hypocrites. Oh no. Oh God. I'm so sorry. Yo!
What's inside?
What? Right! Can't pop that. I gotta... Here, mask up. There we go. We are now safe from the COVID-infected finger, folks. Oh. We love Hawaiian Punch. We love Hawaiian Punch. Hawaiians are Caucasian. Drink the red juice. It's just a juice drink with sugar and fluoride. So I'm an active member in the social justice warrior movement, and her face just went. Another gremlin, little goblin. You peel his skin away and it's green. Ugh, yeah. Pioneers in human. This is real. This is real. Yes, sir. Government knows what to do. I'm not a free thinker. No, I can't be a free thinker.
Oh.
It's a grenade. I'm a mungo. Yeah, but it's still sword there, you mungo. This, to point out the mungos in cancel culture. That a bunch of mungos. I don't want to comment, you mungo. They're programming you mungos. Bunch of mungos. Bunch of mungos. Bunch of mungos. Bunch of mungos. I need to get like a punching bag next to me because I don't want to keep slamming the table. I got all thousands of dollars of gear on here. Dang it! Fauci didn't state though. Oh no, the flu's gotta be stopped. Oh, we can't have racist butter. Ah! It's all a giant political scandal that gets taken down. Ah! Anyways. Dr. Fauci's gonna shut them down. Y'all are gonna love, and I can guarantee you the stream's gonna get shut down. Fact check, Wayfair is not yeah, okay. No, oh, look at that! It's been removed already. I'm not doing Snopes. Don't trust Snopes. Yeah, it got deleted already, bud. And then, of course, Snopes.com says that that's not correct. You can't censor the truth. Oh, this creepy little mongrel. And we already know who this fat piece of garbage is. Well, Snopes.com says it's not true. Never happened. Obama never spent 65. How do you know that? No, I don't care about Snopes. I lied. I am fake news. Where are your sources, John? I couldn't find any. So there you go, bud. Like, ha, we told you we were right. You can't. And people, well, that's not what the CDC says. Dang it, John, where's your sources? They see Fauci. All hail Fauci. He told us that you gotta cover them. I saw a guy in the store the other day doing this.
Wearing the mask is...
Fauci told me that's not... You bigots. You racist, Nazi, homophobic bigots. Dr. Fauci told me that's not true. Where are your sources? Ugh. Yeah, I'm Fauci. I'm Fauci. And you tell people this in the comments. How can anyone say the numbers are fake? All these people are dying. You're so insensitive. Alex, where's your sources? They're on to us. And then Zuckerberg is probably like drinking soy milk because the guy's like a weak, pathetic excuse for human flesh of a man. But you can go to McDonald's and get your Big Mac, you fat lard. By right-wing news site Breitbart, look at this alien. Look at this. Don't want to get in trouble. Don't want Zuck to come after me. Next thing you know, they're gonna ban me for fake news. John's a lifeguard. And they're probably gonna censor this broadcast. And if that happens, I'll just go to YouTube. And then when they censor me there, I'm gonna go to Twitch. You censor me there, I'm gonna go to Mixer. You censor me there, I'm just gonna make another account. I could do this for the rest of my life. I can come up with 1 million names and emails. You can't silence the Republic. You can't silence freedom, and you can't silence the will and the strength that people have to fight this disgusting nonsense. Welcome back. Speed! I hate that guy. Haven't seen you folks in 2 weeks. Thanks to this Mungo. Give me a second, I'm driving to the studio now. We gotta see if we can lose this loser. I can drive with my hands. I'm good at that. I'm good at that. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. August 26th. I haven't done a show in 2 weeks. Welcome to Piss Off. I am your host, John Maneri. Started later than I wanted, but that's okay. Hopefully the audio, because in my headphones that was skipping, I don't know, something was going on with my computer. Welcome, welcome. You like that, huh? I think he's still outside. Let's go check. Ugh! Hate that guy. Alright. So today, we were going to watch the whole film. What time is it? 10:03? But it's a long one, so we're probably going to watch like 45 minutes. For today, we're watching Shadowgate, a movie by Millie Weaver. She's an independent journalist, and she got arrested right before this was supposed to drop. She got arrested live on air. It's pretty nuts. This was 2 Fridays ago. Yeah. Head on over to band.video to check it out. Let's do this. Sometimes you just gotta dance. Who's there? Who's watching? Dakota, as always, how you doing? Was my audio cutting out, in and out on the motorcycle chase? Because in my headphone it was like skipping like crazy. I don't know why. It wasn't doing that during the test run. Or during the video I posted yesterday. So, alright. Band.video. Let's just get right into this, hey.
What if I were to tell you that a small group of government contractors were hired by government officials to frame the Trump campaign, set him up for the Russia collusion investigation, provided witnesses for the impeachment hearings, and provided administrative support services to the Department of Justice during the Mueller investigation? And what if it just so happened that this same group of contractors are behind the fake news in mainstream media, influence operations on social media, and the civil unrest nationwide pushing the defund the police movement? The Obamagate scandal only scratches the surface.
You mentioned shock value. That is shocking what the Russians did. I agree. We need to stop it.
I know that now based on the Horowitz report.
I'm not saying that you lied to the court. I'm saying you signed something that was a lie and you didn't know it.
Talk about a cover story. What really happened is much more alarming. Both parties are equally guilty of covering up what should turn out to be an even bigger scandal, Shadowgate. The tactical and operational role the shadow government played behind the scenes, carrying out the coup against President Trump. We're going to be looking behind the puppets at who the real puppet master string pullers are. The material presented in this documentary should concern people of all political affiliations. This is about real players, people whose names never come up but should. Career politicians are definitely part of the Beltway swamp, even aspects of the deep state, but they are not the shadow government. The shadow government consists of government contractors, defense, intelligence, security, and so on. Our government mostly consists of front-facing desk jockeys that are compartmentalized in cubicles. They're to cover up for the fact that most of the real work is outsourced to contractors, aka the military-industrial complex. That way, what the public sees through FOIA requests, investigations, congressional hearings, or otherwise, is as clean as a whistle. All the dirty work is kept private, with contractors in clandestine networks. These contractors have used their connections, power, and influence to create an unprecedented international criminal enterprise where blackmail is traded and people's personal data is gold. Two whistleblowers, Tory and Patrick Berge, who both worked extensively within the shadow government as contractors, have come forward with revelations that may be part of the biggest whistleblowing event to date.
I'm one of thousands faceless, patriotic Americans that work within the shadows and had been doing that for a very long time. People that worked for John Brennan approached me while I was in my specialist training while I was in the Navy.
When I was recruited, it was for electronic warfare. Then I ended up in information warfare, and ironically, the base that I first went to for electronic warfare is now information warfare.
My job for a company called Dynology, which was owned by Obama's National Security Advisor, General James Jones, and I answered directly to his son. I worked for them for about 8 years, from like 2007 to 2010. My focus was primarily in the development on a couple different contracts for the Department of Defense for the development of the capabilities for interactive internet activities, being something that helps support CNO, which is computer network operations, hacking and different things like that, and information operations, which would be your actual influence operations, right? It's a supporting application that really, it's kind of like a Microsoft project, right? Which allows you to manage large projects, like enterprise level projects, but instead of like managing the building of the construction of a 14-story building, it's managing the most, malevolent operations that you could imagine.
I was a contractor for various intelligence agencies that were privately created. So they were private contracting agencies because unlike what most people think, our intelligence doesn't stay within our borders or within federal buildings.
The ShadowNet was the commercial version of an IIA weapon, IIA being interactive internet activities. That's the military nomenclature for what basically you've heard just being described for the last 3 or 4 years with all the fake news and the fake news journalists and fake stories, fake dossier. All these things are attributes and characteristics of IIA, which is social media psychological warfare. We began that really in 2007, when right after the policy guidelines first came out. We were on one of the first contracts with the DoD that I'm aware of, trying to help the Force Psychological Operations Group understand how to go from dropping flyers from planes to a more micro-targeted social media psychological warfare application where you could select an individual target or a group target or an entire country if you wanted to.
What I did was something called localization, or L10N. So a localization strategy is you find a group of people, that could be a whole country, a city, a certain religious group, 6-block radius like Chaz, and you kind of try to get in their mind. You have to understand how they eat, how they walk, how they talk, what they like, what pushes their buttons, what drives them nuts, what upsets them, what makes them happy, and then you use that to your advantage to push whatever ideology or product or direction you want them to go. Marrying together cultural appropriation, language, nuances of the demographic that you are targeting or the nation you are targeting. It pries into your demographic, your world, so if I want to blackmail you and put you under my thumb, not only will I know everything, but I will know your deepest, darkest fears. I will know people I can get in contact to find out more about you. Maybe you had like an old hockey injury. So if I wanted to attack you, I'd know where to hit you.
You understand enough about someone and you can hack their shadow, right? You can use their fears. You can use their anxieties. Sound anything like pandemics that you recognize here?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you can use those things to help reflexively control or influence a target, an individual, or whoever it is, right? Or a group of people, or an entire election, an entire country.
What Patrick Berge created was a program that was based off of the strategies that we used in person. It was a psychological operation, but that crunches data with the use of psychological operations. So you can predict how your target will respond.
You know, I spent like 7 years overseas, right? Several years, a couple of those years were specifically related to IIA. So I understood certain things.
When we hijacked the Afghan elections, how did we do that? We had to understand how the Afghanis think. We had to go to the areas that were anti-Taliban because the Taliban political group was now more militant than it was political. We used that to our advantage and formulated a plan where we would sway their thoughts to believe that XYZ candidate is the way to go, because then you won't get robbed and we'll tame the Taliban. But we had to do it in their way. So he created an algorithm that does that for you.
When we were largely doing this, it was done by analysts. Now this is more done automated through artificial intelligence, which is just a common iteration of the program or application development process. The database component ends up allowing you to build behavioral profiles on individual targets, right? And through those behavioral profiles, you can develop or implement reflexive control, which allows you to understand, with enough information about someone, you can predictively determine how they're going to react.
I was really good at what I did. Really good. And I can still do it too. I'm not doing it now though.
Well, don't be doing that, Tori.
You wouldn't know if I was too. But I helped them train algorithms with the strategies that I had created all these years.
They had asked us to bring the application to a classified network. But Jim sent him a bogus, just a made-up, ridiculous bid to actually do that, because if it went on a classified network, we couldn't turn around and sell it commercially. We went on after that to another contract in Tampa, took everything with us. Force Psychological Operations Group had no idea that we were going to be taking their years worth of work that they paid us to do, taxpayers paid us to do, and we kept the intellectual property rights to it and remarketed it, branded it commercially as the Shadowgate. So I come back here and I see these guys back here in America have just been having a field day utilizing the technology that we've been developing to alter the outcomes of our elections in America.
This technology was so successful, they couldn't resist the temptation to not use it commercially and have the power to affect outcomes of elections at home.
It's crazy.
The commercial and black market value of such a technology is incalculable.
This is the
nuts.
Mobile Mega Shadownet Mobile. My laptop sits in here, and then I got 2 4K capture cards. I can do BTC, and this charges all the camera equipment. So while I'm riding, I'm told I'm getting as much as 40 amps. These are the same cases that we used to build out our SCIPs, our SC2 IPs, which is a small command and control over IP. And when I was working with JCSE, we would take these cases and build out networks. This is a small command and control over IP. It's just only running on one unclassified network, SIM-enabled Wi-Fi router. And if I get decent cell connection, then I can run the multiple cameras, and I can put multiple images in one screen, and I can run all that from my cell phone that I have mounted here.
The group of whistleblowers from the NSA and other classified data collection agencies, referred to as the Global Surveillance Whistleblowers, were used as a vector to legalize what was then illegal dragnet spying on everyone 24/7.
The NSA and its former head, General Hayden, declined to comment for this story.
The FISA Amendment Act of 2008 had Section 702 that permitted the government to spy on citizens with a warrant from the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. The NSA data system collects everything through what's called the upstream, where everything is stored for 72 hours, then dumped. However, if one could twin this stream of data, they could privatize it. Imagine what you could do with that. Tori alleges that she worked for John Brennan at the Analysis Corporation and Global Strategies Group. What is the Analysis Corporation?
It is a company that does a lot of things, varied from administrative work to analyses to data collection, biometric collection. I mean, whatever contract they've been awarded by the government, they do. Could be something as simple as janitor duties.
In case you missed the secretary's words upstairs, she reached out to Senator Obama to say that she was sorry that this had happened, that there were these unauthorized accesses to his passport file. One incident this past summer where there was a trainee in the passport office who had an unauthorized access of Senator Clinton's passport file. Now, in the case of Senator McCain, we detected earlier this year one of the same people who accessed Senator Obama's passport file also accessed Senator McCain's passport file. This is the same individual who was disciplined, but at this point in time still remains working with the contractor.
She claims to be the actual person who moved the electronic files at Stanley Inc. and CGI in 2008, which publicly was falsely alleged to be a hack. What can you tell us about the CGI Stanley passport incident?
See, Brennan has a certain MO, okay? When he wants to get something, he pretends there's a hack. So I was asked when I was stateside, hey, would you go by that office and pull all this data from the State Department? And I said, of course I will. I put it on 2 rugged drives. You know, they were like the orange tips, really big, you know, drives. And I put it on there. And then later, it's like, oh, they were hacked. And I'm thinking, I didn't hack anything. I was told to do it. So I just kind of watched what was happening. One person actually committed suicide or something, and the other 2 were found. I'm like, but there was no hack. And that's a going theme. You know that, right?
Wow. If it wasn't a hack, I'm presuming that means you took the information off of their servers and computers.
Correct.
So that information was then missing.
Correct.
What would be the point of that? What were they trying to hide?
Well, if I removed it, that means someone else was there to replace it, right? So I remove the actual information, and then someone goes behind. That's like super switch. I didn't see that until in retrospect, right? Because for me, going to copy a server off of a consulate, you know, computer, State Department, wherever, would be normal. If we had a contract with them, they would tell me what terminal, I'd scan the barcode, make sure that I was at the right computer, and do my job. So I remove data, that means someone else replaced it.
So what is the relationship between Global Strategies Group, Analysis Corporation, and Canadian Global Information?
They all do the same thing. They're the jacks of all trades, except for the fact that Global Strategies Group was actually a hub for all information, in and out, in and out. I mean, all of the directors there were former GCHQ, CIA, NSA, you know, MI6, MI5, German intelligence. You have to wonder, why are all these former heads heading up consulting firm? And what were they consulting? And they weren't consulting. They were collecting everybody's data and privatizing it.
John Brennan, working within his network of contracting companies such as Stanley, Canadian Global Information, and the Analysis Corporation, helped then Senator Barack Obama get elected using internet influence operations. March 5th, 2013, Brennan gets confirmed as CIA director, dodging controversy over his involvement in the CIA enhanced interrogation scandal. Now tell us about these data bridges to the NSA. Is that legally obtained information?
I mean, that's kind of what Snowden did too.
According to sources closely connected to this subject, under John Brennan's direction, Snowden created a data bridge from the NSA database into private servers controlled by private intelligence and cybersecurity contractors, aka the Analysis Corporation, Global Strategies Group, and Canadian Global Information.
The twinning of streams is duplicating the information in the upstream. That's crazy. To think that another company is copying all emails, text, phone calls, messages, emojis, Instagrams, tweets, anything you can imagine that's being uploaded that has to go into like the 72-hour holding is suddenly being pushed offshore. That sounds kind of illegal because it is.
June 5th, 2013, Edward Snowden goes public with the NSA program PRISM, revealing the NSA collects internet traffic of all U.S. citizens from major internet and telecom companies through the FISA 702 program. Snowden's actions kicked off, on the federal level, justification for spying on U.S. citizens, including the Senate and Congress, in the name of preventing U.S. citizens with classified or top-secret clearances from being able to repeat Snowden's actions. This opened the door for the creation of ClearForce. July 4th, 2013, CGI and GCHQ launch a defense protection partnership which includes sharing threat intelligence. So these were all private corporations that even had foreigners working in them, and they had access to NSA servers?
Of course they did. I mean, how do you think we found, through facial recognition of the FBI, the Belgian bomber? Why would we have their facial recognition data?
So, is this legal, what you're telling me, and why would they do it? Why would they set this up this way?
So sharing our information and our private identifying information, facial recognition, biometrics, outside of the United States for official purposes, like at a consulate, at an embassy, through Secret Service or anything like that, is legal, right? Or through Interpol. But to have a company that houses everybody's data and any private person can buy that data or investigate that data or analyze that data, that's not. And that's exactly what GSG was doing.
Early 2009, John Brennan left government and went to work for a small intelligence contractor here in the Virginia area, suburban Virginia area, just outside of Washington. The company was called the Analysis Corporation. There are subsidiaries of subsidiaries. Some of these companies are spun out, go public, go private again. It's kind of hard to keep track of them.
In just 4 months, GSG, CGI, and other private contractors allegedly had unauthorized access to the entire Five Eyes network. Unfiltered, unrestricted, decompartmentalized, outside any government regulation or oversight. Not surprising, the CIA gets caught 1 year later spying on the US Senate. Their excuse? It was their own network they had set up for the Senate to use, so they had authorization.
Would you agree that the CIA's 2014 search of Senate files was improper?
This is the annual threat assessment, is it not? Yes. These were CIA computers at a CIA leased facility. It was a CIA network that was shared between Senate staffers conducting that investigation for your report, as well as CIA personnel.
The reality is those computers, in effect, belonged to the CIA, but they were reserved exclusively for the committee's use.
We accelerated our ability, our, for want of a better word, invasiveness into communications networks in which legitimate targets coexisted with legitimately protected communications.
Obama takes office, and General Jones is being sworn in as National Security Advisor. His son, General Jones' son, copyrights CKMS, Congressional Knowledge Management System. Within a couple months after he leaves office in 2010, Dynology gets the contract for CKMS, the Congressional Knowledge Management System. which basically controls all of the scheduling, the addresses, the documents, everything for the Congress. CKMS is going to give you access to unlimited information. Think about the information you could get from that.
If we look on usspending.gov, we see Dynology was awarded contracts for the Congressional Knowledge Management System. However, one contract stands out, where Dynology was awarded a contract by the Department of Defense that includes a mention of the Congressional Knowledge Management System. A closer look shows that the award description is for CKMS hosting Labor Admin Core Data. The primary place of performance is Germany, and the North American Industry Classification description is data processing, hosting, and related services. Even one section stating manufacturing outside the United States. Use outside the United States. Let it sink in that these official documents suggest the Congressional Knowledge Management System, outsourced to a private contractor, is hosted, managed, and stored in servers in Germany. This is very disturbing. With the Senate's computer network compromised by John Brennan's CIA and the Congressional Knowledge Management System being hosted, managed, and stored overseas by General Jones's company, the ability for these contractors to eavesdrop on both the House and the Senate is staggering.
When I brought this up back in 2018, shortly after that, Dynology lost the contract that they had had since 2011, 2012 with CKMS, and that contract went to another company, a company that exists as nothing more than a website and a mail drop a mile or so from Dynology's Tampa office, controlling the entire Congressional Knowledge Management.
And if you look at the contracting database, they'll say that, oh, they have an American entity, and it's like, but it's the same CEOs for this Canadian company. I'm so confused. So they even falsify information so they can obfuscate where our federal tax dollars are going. And don't forget, they all share contracts. They all subcontract, co-contract.
Psy Group has the exact same product as Dynology, the Shadownet, and iSci, right? Yet the owner of Dynology sits on the board of directors of Psy Group, which in my opinion is kind of like the owner of Coke sitting on the board of directors of Pepsi.
TAC, CGI, and all these LLCs that just keep cycling and cycling, all of them.
The Social Security numbers of 19.7 million Americans subjected to federal background checks as a condition of employment are now in the hands of hackers.
In June 2015, the Office of Personnel Management announced a major data breach. Tell us about the OPM hack.
Okay, so that's another Brennan job. So another hack, supposed hack. And this is to obtain, delete, and obfuscate information. Hillary Clinton was up for the chopping block about her emails right at the State Department. And that was coming up. That was big talk of the town in 2014. Suddenly, the Office of Personnel Management was hacked in December. Down the line, 5 months later, Hillary Clinton appears in court, and they tell her, hey, you're going to hand over your emails. A couple days after that, the now fired, corrupt, leaking former IG of the State Department, Linick, had requested from our elected officials to give him a big fat budget to create his own personal IG of the State Department server.
How convenient.
Very convenient.
While we have no evidence that our data has been compromised, the fact that the contents of our network may be accessed by large numbers of department administrators puts us at unnecessary risk. The IT folks at the department have the keys to our IT system. So they really have access, unfettered access to the system if they wanted to. They could read, modify, delete. They could read, modify, delete. I would like to be completely separate from the department to ensure the integrity of our system, but I also need the department to give us access to the same systems that we have now. Give us access.
And he was responsible in releasing her emails that he gave in little doses, of course, over time. But at the same time, the press came out with a report, oh dear, months ago, there was a leak.
Do you have evidence that the State Department's network has been attacked? And does that affect you guys?
There's evidence that has been attacked, and it has affected us. I can't really go into details because of the nature of the information.
For people that don't know, the Office of Personnel Management usually has information on every single American that has applied for any type of clearance. So if you applied for like a White House press pass, or joined the military, or an admin job that could require something like a public Charlie clearance, anything, all your information is there.
What could they do with all that information?
Right. They started slowly creating these memorandums of understandings with your secretaries of states and attorney generals secretly behind your back, providing facial recognition data, private identifying data. This was the most incredible data, because if you want to control someone, all you need to do is put that information through a couple of systems, and you'll know exactly what buttons you need to push and how to make them nod their head the way you want them to, or shake it.
Millions of Americans have received letters like this, notifying them their data are at risk and referring them to a government-contracted credit monitoring agency.
Does this correlate with predictive programming?
Yes.
The merging of John Brennan's tactical intelligence and General Jones's operational capabilities gave birth to ClearForce.
ISI was the relational database component of it. That's what we named it. I named it, actually. And
what did you name it ISI for?
I like the iPhone, Psi for psychological warfare.
Okay.
You have the component where you need to be able to collect all this information, and then you need to be able to collaborate this information with a team of an unspecified amount of analysts and or other legal people that will be looking at stuff. And you need to be able to provide the leadership of a tactical operation. You need to be able to provide them what's called a COPS, a common operational picture, right? So this provides people at the top common operational picture of all the different assets. Assets can be journalists, it could be an entire news organization, it could be a podcast, it could be just an individual YouTube influencer, it could be anybody like that. And you would either build them from scratch or contract them out, just bring them online.
According to Berge, the 2012 changes to the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012 opened the floodgates for domestic IIA, social media influence operations. Do you think that some of these smart devices were created in order to gain access to the public by the military-industrial complex?
I know that the iPhone really was released within this, if not the same month of the IIA policy letter, right? I know for a fact, and you can easily look it up, that the Smith-Mundt Act, Modernization Act, was modified to allow for the influence, dissemination of propaganda to Americans, which had previously been restricted or prevented by the Smith-Mundt Act in the late 40s when it was put into place. When they modernized that, they took away those protections, allowing it to adapt for social media, and then within a few months or just a very short period of time, they came out with the Obama phone.
Everybody in Cleveland, low minority, got Obama phone. Keep Obama in president, you know? He gave us a phone.
Free cell phones to low-income families.
TrackPhone has just started a program here in the volunteer state
I
called
remember this.
SafeLink Wireless. More than 800,000 families here in Tennessee qualify for these phones. The company says this program is about providing a safe link for families no matter what their level of income is.
Very short time after that, they added free unlimited data plans to them.
He also suggested that the contiguous release of the Obama phone with an unlimited data plan played a significant role in fostering the Ferguson riots using IIA. So why do you
Think of
think
the
they were
damage.
targeting them for collection
Well,
purposes?
think of what you could do, right? Think of how easily you could start a riot in Cleveland if you had the data. Oh my goodness! the
So
things
you
do.
could gather that information and know how to psychologically target them to get them upset, or do you think that they were pushing information to them, like tailoring their
I would.
viewpoint on social media?
I
even?
would. And when like I said, I didn't really actually finish this earlier, but I originally, in 2014, I recognized Black Lives Matter movement during the Michael Brown riots as being influenced by IIA. A colleague of mine in South Korea did a trace route on it, trace routed the source of what I believe to have been IIA to Ukraine.
Wow.
That's funny, right? So, because Ukraine just always keeps popping up. And whether or not it was actually the Shadownet itself, or it was a competitor like McChrystal, right? McChrystal, what they accused McChrystal of having is the exact same thing as what we built before him. Maybe it was a competitor. Who knows? It's becoming really a boutique
This is
market.
crazy.
Do you think that many of these social media companies like Twitter, Facebook, that they were created with IIA operations in mind, and it was never intended to be a free speech platform? I mean, what's your take on that?
In our Shadownet flyer, it has a screenshot of South American social network site that was kind of like the predecessor for MySpace, owned by Google. And I believe the name was Urkut. And you can actually look on our flyer and see a screenshot from that, which looks like an active engagement from South America. Now, if you look up what happened to Urkut, what was really Google's first attempt pre-MySpace, you'll see that it was largely shut down and largely contributed to an overwhelming use of fake personas, right? What was one of the reasons that they attributed to MySpace shutting down last year? Rampant fake personas. At the same time, I'm developing these flyers for a company that doesn't have a sales staff. They only have a product. At the same time I'm doing that, our number one partner for a company that doesn't have a product, that is only salespeople, are working John McCain's campaign.
Too risky.
Doing micro-targeted social media for John McCain's campaign.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
You were speaking on news pundits and how many of the news pundits are IA assets and intelligence assets. So tell us more about that.
Mika Brzezinski, her father is the father of influence operations and psychological warfare.
A towering figure in American foreign policy, an extended member of the NBC News family as well. Zbigniew Brzezinski, Jimmy Carter's national security advisor.
Jillian Turner, Fox News host, was also vice president of Jones Group International, doing an interview with her old boss and my old boss. Now, why would I assume that they would be using anything other than the Shadownet? Because the owner of the Shadownet has so many key assets. Why would he need to go to anybody else, right? So they get their talking points from the analysts that are putting it together, but then they disseminate those talking points through non-attribution to their assets throughout these news organizations, utilizing an application like the Shadownet. Jillian Turner has a direct connection to Atlantic Council. General Jones was the chairman of the board of the Atlantic Council. JGI,
Oh,
Joseph
Dakota,
International,
facts.
is an oil lobby. Atlantic Council in Brisbane.
That's facts. Ugh. I hate that guy so much.
Brisbane has a relationship. Brisbane is an energy company. Obviously, they have these connections
This would explain why Fox News focuses mostly on the Biden-Ukraine scandal, never mentioning Jones's connections, nor the Atlantic Council. Trump focusing on Ukraine isn't just about Biden. It's about Jones, Hayden, Brennan, McChrystal, the State Department, U.S. aid, and corrupt inspector generals. With everything in place, and after being in control of the office of the presidency for decades, the military-industrial complex had confidence they could take Trump out as a candidate or even as president. Has IIA been used against President Trump?
Absolutely. Through the Russian dossier, there are so many people, former colleagues of mine, directly connected to the Shadownet. John McCain and Lindsey Graham, one of the last two people to have their hands on the Russian dossier before it was handed off to BuzzFeed as part of the dissemination process.
Told the president it was not John McCain. I know because John McCain showed me the dossier.
It was built, it was a product, it was used as a weapon as part of an influence operation. It was fake information put into it to help create chaos and to influence an election. Bottom line, right? But those people that were directly involved with that were also directly involved with the Shadownet.
So, you have knowledge of them using military-grade psychological warfare weapons on the President of the United States.
Done by the closest people around him, too.
As Trump's election unfolded and as all of the Russia collusion and all these things started happening and becoming exposed, revealed to me it was to keep from exposing the stuff that they've been doing over here, which I believe includes the Maidan massacre in Ukraine.
Where did the dossier come from? Nellie Orr testified it came from the Ukraine. Where's all the money laundering and crazy IIAs we see going on in Ukraine?
So Manafort's being accused of social media influence operations in Ukraine in 2010. World courts charged him with that.
Ukraine was the epicenter of everything. Like everything. And that's because we had maimed that nation and made them deal to us. Barack Hussein Obama did it. You know, we deployed troops, National Guard, of course. And what states are the ones that work with Ukraine? It would be California and New York. So we deployed troops there because, you know, they weren't listening. It's like, why would you want to stay independent and hang out with the Russians when you can be with us, the Americans and the Europeans? And they were really upset that they weren't willing to commit to receive debt from the EU and ignore Russia, which they had been attached to for eons. So we went in there and destroyed them. That's how Hunter Biden got his job. That's how we weaseled our way in there. We got a hold of corrupt people. We said, we'll help you out with your lawsuits. You get us in there. We wrote bills. We sent them money so we can help them conduct elections. We did everything there.
The Obama aid package in Ukraine, which corresponds with Joe Biden's billion-dollar loan guarantee scandal, is the same aid package where Seidel got a field office in Kiev to provide election training and election management for the Ukrainian Election Commission. Seidel is one of the most notorious outsourced companies for elections, with regular electronic voting machine problems, who also tabulate our election results in cloud services in Europe, aka servers outside the United States. A whistleblower leaked to me in 2019 internal documents from Seidel that appeared to show meddling in the Kentucky election.
Atlantic Council has been deciding America's policies for decades now. And look at what a panic they were in when Trump made that phone call to Ukraine. They went into absolute panic mode. 75% of the people testifying were all directly connected to General Jones, McCain, and an Atlantic Council.
The now IG of the NSA, literally with his wife, created the National Anti-Corruption Bureau in the Ukraine in 2009. They created it.
Robert Storch is the deputy head of the U.S. Inspector General's office.
Це пан Сторч по скайпу. Є зв'язок у нас?
I recognize how important this task is for NABU and for the effort to address corruption there in Ukraine.
September 30th, 2016. Obama knows that within 30 days, if the NSA can't fix the overcollection problem by either dumping data or justifying having it, the FISA court will order the IG of the NSA to investigate. So what does Obama do? He writes an executive order that makes the IG of the NSA a presidential appointment rather than an appointment by the director of the NSA. November 30th, 2016. Obama nominates Robert Storch, who was working as deputy IG of the DOJ under Horowitz at the same time.
I'm Rob Storch, and I'm honored to serve as the Inspector General at the National Security Agency.
During the transition period from the Obama administration into the Trump administration, Storch appears to never have actually been confirmed by the Trump administration.
How did this guy get confirmed? Not one person asked, hey, have you ever worked for I mean, a couple months before they even had the hearing to see if he's going to be confirmed or not. Nobody asked him, hey, did you by any chance get an offer from the president of Ukraine to work for them? It was all over the media, but not one person asked. You know who else helped them set it up? Bill Taylor and George Kent, those two clowns, also testified against the president. One of them has supersonic hearing. They could hear phones that are not on speakerphone from across the room. So
that's odd. According to Tory, the alleged impeachment whistleblower was actually a wiretap, hence supersonic hearing capabilities. Eric Ciaramella was a decoy to hide the fact that the president was being wiretapped through a 702 data overcollection problem connected to the Sunset Clause, collection problem that the NSA Inspector General Robert Storch oversaw.
So the question is, what has been the Senate Intelligence Committee? All complacent, every single one of them. Because it's their job to be our voice and ask those questions.
So I mean, I guess
because they're in on it.
So I guess the question is, are they all just that inept? Or is there something else going on?
Why are we frozen? We're frozen. See if I can get it back up in a sec. It's pretty crazy. My laptop's color wheeling me. That's crazy, yo. Maybe it's a good time to stop. What time is it? Almost 11? Yeah, we'll probably watch the second half another time. If the laptop would work. What's going on here, bud? Girls, girls, girls. Ba, 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 ba. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my laptop is completely frozen. Up. It's back up, but it's like frozen. Come on. Bro, my laptop's cracked. Alright, gang. Well, there's only one last thing to do. The enemy of the people. One of the worst human souls on this planet. I know what's wrong with the music, by the way. Alright, gang. It's them trying to hack. It could be. I mean, who knows? No, but I think I know what the problem is. My laptop does this thing sometimes where it runs this, this app that takes up all my RAM. We're just going to force quit Google Chrome. Alright, I'm going to fix this. Folks, thanks for watching. Dakota, especially you. We're back. I'm going to be streaming regularly. I'm going to Florida Friday, so I'm not going to be streaming. I'll be back Monday. I'll probably do a show next week sometime. Quit. Alright, gang. peace, and remember to piss off.